Destroyer!
Swat away!
Have you seen my gun?
Empty crutch! We can do this!
No!
We can do this! There's a new sheriff in town. I'm here to mop up. I fear no Children, behave! Enjoy my healing touch.
Your move, creep.
I'll let it hide. This is my You've all gone crazy!
The parasite enters through the gills and clamps onto the fish's tongue with sharp, strong claws. It then severs the blood vessels in the tongue, stopping blood flow, which causes it to die and eventually fall off. Once the tongue is gone, the parasite attaches itself to the remaining stub, becoming the fish's new tongue. As the fish eats, the parasite gets a share of the food, and this creepy thing stays there, living off the fish and acting as its tongue until the host dies. The parasite enters through the gills and clamps onto the fish's tongue with sharp, strong claws. If you're attacked by a swarm of bees, most people would jump into water to try and escape them. But the bees will just wait for you to resurface before attacking again. Instead, you should cover your face with your shirt to protect your eyes and mouth. Run as fast as you can to escape the swarm, aiming for a shelter like a car. Once inside, remove any stingers to prevent further venom release. If you're attacked, an artificial heart can be implanted to replace a failing one. The fake heart has 2 chambers and functions like a real one. Air pumps drive the chambers, pushing blood through the body. A portable device outside the body powers and controls these pumps. Blood flows from the body into a dung beetle will carve out a chunk of poop and begin shaping it into a ball. First, it uses its strong front legs to pat and press the poop into a rounder shape. Then it smooths the surface with its back legs, making sure the ball is even. As it's rolled away, it keeps smoothing and shaping the ball, ensuring it stays perfectly round. Finally, the beetle buries it and lays its eggs inside. A dung beetle, if you shot a police badge, you might think the bullet would ricochet off. But silver and gold badges are soft enough to bend with your hands, meaning they have no chance of saving the officer's life. A brass badge is harder and would slow down the bullet, but it would still go right through. Only nickel and steel badges are hard enough to even have a tiny chance of deflecting a bullet. If you shot a police badge, you might think the bullet would ricochet off. When you touch a hot stove, energy. This is the tallest human versus the smallest human to ever live. The smallest human would need to be stacked over 5 times to reach this height. And for cars, the longest is over 100 feet, while the smallest is just 4.5 feet, meaning you would need 22 lined up to match the length. The smallest ship in the world is just over 11 feet long, and you would need 137 of them to reach the length of the Seawise Giant, the longest ship in the world. And if you took the largest dinosaur that ever existed, you would need around 40 of the smallest lined up to be the same length. This is the tallest human versus. A doctor can remove your heart from your body and insert tubes into the major blood vessels. Then these tubes. When you break your nose,
Is it illegal for
if your tooth is infected, a man fell behind a large refrigerator unit at the supermarket where he worked in 2009. Now, he was seriously trapped, but his cries for help were drowned out by the noise of the coolers. Days passed, and weeks turned into months with no leads on his whereabouts. It was 10 years later that contractors began working on the now abandoned supermarket. As they moved the refrigerator unit, they found the man's remains wedged behind it. A man fell behind a large. If you're trapped in a house,
Come support the channel.
if we attached a huge magnet to the Titanic, if you're double jointed, some people think if an alligator grabs you, it might start a death roll, a terrifying spin meant to dismember prey. To survive, you should try to roll in the same direction as the alligator. If you have a free arm, aim for the alligator's eyes, or try to jab its nostrils. And if all else fails, play dead. Sometimes the alligator will release its grip, giving you a chance to escape. If an alligator grabs you, if your tongue was cut out of your mouth, you would immediately lose the ability to speak. And this is because your tongue helps to shape sounds. By pressing against the roof of your mouth, if your tongue was cut out of your mouth, you would immediately lose the ability to speak. And this is because your tongue helps to shape sounds by pressing against the roof of your mouth and teeth. If it were gone, swallowing would also be near impossible because the tongue moves food around the mouth and pushes it to the back of the throat, allowing you to swallow. If your tongue, a teenager ate a live slug on a dare with his friends in 2010. The next day, he was dizzy, nauseous, and felt a weird pain in his leg. Doctors discovered that he had contracted a rare parasite. There was no treatment, and usually the body would just get rid of it by itself. But the parasite's larva got into the teen's brain through his bloodstream, causing him to fall into a coma for over 400 days. When he finally woke up, he had severe brain damage and could only control his eyelids and breathing. He spent the next 8 years completely paralyzed until he passed away from respiratory failure in 2018. A teenager ate a live slug on a dare with his friends in 2010. The next day, he was dizzy, nauseous, and felt a weird pain. A teenager ate a live slug on a dare with his friends in 2010. The next day, he was dizzy, nauseous, and felt a weird pain in. A man claimed he found a dead mouse. An egg starts in the ovary of a. If a jet goes super fast, it can actually push the sound waves in front of it, and this causes them to literally pile up. After a while, the jet will eventually break through this pile of sound waves. If a huge asteroid were headed toward Earth,
Whoa.